as I've been running for this office is to be responsive to what the actual needs are for Oregon communities across our state. And the emergency declaration around homelessness is intended to cut the red strings.
Christine Drazan could become Oregon's first Republican governor in 40 years, in part due to her focus on crime and homelessness. The Washington Examiner spoke to Drazan in Oregon just weeks before Election Day.
Just a few hours ago, the CDC voted to add the COVID-19 vaccination to the scheduled immunizations for children attending public school. There are already some Republican governors coming out and saying they will fight that in their state. Is that something that you would push back against as governor?
Yeah, I will be pushing back against that as governor. We're not talking about eradicating measles. We are not talking about polio. We are talking about a vaccine against a virus. And especially for our school-age children, families know best if their students have underlying health conditions and if that vaccine is the appropriate response. And I certainly would make vaccines available, readily available to those that choose them.
Drazan also said she wants to keep woke ideology out of the classroom.
So our schools need to get back to reading, writing, and math as far as the core focus of our education system. We need to get politics out of the classroom, get parents back in. Oregon's curriculum in particular has really shifted from a focus on reading, writing, and math to a focus on justice in ways that have our kindergartners, for example, talking about their own identity and how they can seek justice. The answer isn't to focus on identity politics. The answer is to focus on education.
Crime has exploded in Portland and caused residents to flee. Drazan blamed the decriminalization of things like drug use.
It just doesn't make sense that heroin and meth and fentanyl would be legal. And right now, too often we see that people are openly using those substances, and it has made our communities less safe.
Drazan's Democratic opponent, Tina Kotek, has focused heavily on abortion in the race. Drazan defended her pro-life views.
On abortion, you've said that it is not on the ballot. Oregon, though, does have sort of a no limits up until birth sort of allowance for abortion. Personally, do you agree with that, even though, as you've said, you wouldn't seek to sort of mess with that as governor?
Yeah, I've been really clear. I mean, I've never shied away from my pro-life values, and I believe that Oregon's standards are it's an outlier. And we have an extreme approach to this issue. It's not, from my perspective, what was envisioned by Roe v. Wade. And yet, that is the law in Oregon. I will uphold Oregon's laws across the board.
Sarah Westwood for the Washington Examiner.